everyone, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Mom.
And this is Millennial and Mom. And in today's video, we are going to be recapping Married at First Sight Australia, Season 7, with episodes 6 and 7, because we're talking about the final 4 couples, because there's 10.
Yep.
And their honeymoons. So, enjoy the video.
We're going to start with Stacy and Michael. Stacy is a graduate lawyer. She is also the mom of 2 young children. As with everyone coming onto the show, they're looking for stability,
Supposedly.
lifetime love, happiness, all that. She also says she enjoys the finer things in life. And just by looking at her, there seems like to be a pattern with these ladies on Married at First Sight. She's all dolled up, makeup done, everything. So now she's matched with Michael. Michael is a business owner. He also likes the finer things in life. He loves his watches. But one thing he says that's interesting is he wants someone who's attentive. You know, someone who's not always on social media. Someone who's just into him or into the relationship.
Immediately, when I saw Michael, I was like, I don't think she's going to like him.
You thought that immediately?
I did, because she said she wanted somebody serious, and he gave me the opposite of serious, just by his personality.
Maybe he was nervous.
Now, his work ethic might be serious, but I'm not too sure.
So we moved to the wedding day, and Michael gets there first, and he actually reminds me of one of the first 6 couples, I should say, Haley, where he's just like, hey, how's everybody doing? Just being all cordial and greeting and laughing and just having a good time. So while he's on the way to the altar, her friends is like, no,
Not good.
not good. He's a goofball. Not gonna work. So when Stacy's on her way, she's walking with, what's her mom or grandma? Anyway, with her family member. She's walking and she's like,
The look on her face said it all.
yeah. What she was saying was, you know, he's not normally a guy I would go for. I'm not calling him ugly, but and I'm like, wow. But again, when you come on the show, they're not basing off of looks. They're basing off your personality traits and what you put down as to what you're looking for in a partner. While they're giving their vows, this is where maybe Stacy could kind of get the vibe, because Michael is cracking jokes, you know, doing puns like life is like a box of chocolates and doing Snickers and other candy references. She's like, oh my God, like, is he serious? So when she's giving her vows, it's the standard vows, and they give a kiss, but it's awkward. Now, when they're on their way to take photos, that's awkward too. It's just like, kind of like a don't touch me kind of thing. And I'm like, you know, you have to warm up a little bit, at least give it a try. We are now at the reception. Here goes Michael. Jokey, everything's, I'm not gonna say a joke, but he's having a good time in the way that he knows how to have a good time.
When he was like Baby Shark, I was like...
No, it weren't Baby Shark, it was Grandma Shark.
Well, it was the Baby Shark song.
Yeah.
I was like, no. I was like the bridesmaid, not good.
Right. So when Stacy actually talks to her bridesmaid Carla had actually looked Michael up on her phone to see what his background was.
That's something I would do.
What they learned was he was a business owner and just different little background, because I guess, hey, he's got a social media page, which is something he said he didn't want.
Well, what he probably meant was for his partner to not be on it as often or always posting something.
Well, hey.
He was like, well...
I don't know what to say, but he said he wasn't looking for that, and you can't be what you're not looking for, but maybe you can. I don't know. But as the night progressed, you know, they're kind of having, just like most of couples, like, they're separate, having a separate conversation with their bridesmaids, their groomsmen, all that stuff. But Michael is outside having a good time with his groomsmen. Like, he's just
like,
regular.
It's just a party, not a wedding.
Well, it is a party, but it's like his party. Like, he threw it, just him and their friends, not a reception. But after all that, at the very end, they come together, Stacy and Michael, they talk about things, and, you know, she actually lit up a little bit. You know, her mood changed when she learned that. You know, no one's trying to call her a gold digger, but, you know, maybe she's like, well, maybe he can give me the finer things in life. She apologized a little bit for being not as 100%.
being rude. Maybe I wouldn't call her a gold digger because we really don't know the ins and outs. I would just say maybe because she said she was looking for somebody serious and she saw that as being serious, so that brought her around a little bit more.
Our final couple is Michelle and Steve. Now, the difference between this couple is they happen to be on the older end of the spectrum, because normally on Married at First Sight, the history is they're usually 20s or 30s, but I'm glad that there's people who are older because, hey, older people need love too.
Maybe you should apply on this show.
No, not Married at First Sight. Michelle is someone who has been married before and has been in many failed relationships. She says that her husband, or not just her husband, just people who she's been in relationships before, have always cheated on her. And she's afraid of that.
Well, she said 7 out of the 8 relationships she's been in. Correction.
Okay. So if that's not everybody, I don't know who it is, because the majority rules. But Michelle, when she's talking, she has issues, even though she's older, and there's nothing wrong with that, has same or similar issues as some of these women on here, or just in general, who are younger, who have a self-esteem issue. And, you say, maybe it's from her past. I think so too. At the same time, it's like, if you've been in so many failed relationships, what makes you think that this show is the one for you to find your forever?
Because there are trained PhD people on here who can help her, so she thinks. But really what these people, some of these people are failing to realize is that they have to do the work within themselves,
right,
before they can have someone else help them. But we're going to watch and continue.
Michelle has been matched with Steve. Steve is a cancer survivor of 5 years. He owns his own barbershop. He says life is too short.
Steve looks good.
He does. He's ready to settle down, meet his forever, and live happily ever after. Now, Michelle's family, they're not really into her getting married at Married at First Sight because of her history. But
they shouldn't have an opinion anyways, because to me, it doesn't seem like they was helping Michelle out see the light. So let her try something different, and she might get a different result.
Maybe so. Again, all the families, they're either supportive of you or not. The end result is we're getting married. So here comes Steve on his way to the altar. He's smiling, People are in the audience, his friends and family, a little emotional, I guess, because they know his journey. When Michelle comes down the aisle, here comes the apprehension. I was like, oh, here we go. Like, it's another bride, like, is he going to like me? Or I hope he's not a cheater and all this other stuff. He asks, are you nervous or are you okay? And she's like, no, not really. So he takes her hand, it's really sweet, and says, you know what? Our friends, our family here supporting us, we'll be okay. Just go with the flow. I thought that was nice. Yeah.
He did a good job.
During the reception, Steve and Michelle's daughter have a talk. And I think that was nice because he's trying to get to know her children or her kids or her family.
Yeah, try to build a bond of connection.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know why he felt it was best
to reveal his secret?
A secret. Well, not even a secret. Something from his past 20 years ago.
17 to be exact.
Almost 20 years ago at this moment. I don't think it was the moment to say anything, especially to her daughter. I wouldn't want to know that from your future guy.
He said that because her daughter asked, because she gave him the background of what her mom has gone through with the relationships and having men cheat and her dad cheated and so on and so forth. So that's why he said, well, I've cheated.
That would have been the last
And I cheated 17 years ago. It was a mistake, all this other stuff. And the look on her daughter's face was like, oh my God, you're a cheater too? But he did say 17 years ago, but sometimes you may think, once a cheater, always a cheater. That may have went through her mind because of her mom's history.
Do you think so? Do you believe that?
I believe that to the majority, that once you cheat once, you're subjected to do it again. But you can learn from your mistakes. So, hey, everyone can change. So once the conversation is over, she goes to tell her mom what she heard Steve say. And her mom, you would thought the marriage would have been annulled right then and there. That was the shocker. Like, it almost ended. So she sits down, has a drink. Steve's at the bar ordering him a drink, and she's just like real, I don't know what, antsy. She can't even drink her drink. So she decides she's going to get up and leave. She's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And that's what made you think like, oh my God, like this wedding is over like today. Later, Steve, after he gets his drink, goes out to find Michelle. And they have a talk. And he tells her, yes, I did cheat, but that was 17 years ago. Like, I was wrong. I was a jerk. I messed up. But I'm here for you now. I'm a changed man. And somehow, Michelle is like, okay, maybe so. And we can move past this.
Not only just move past it, but when they got home, she was all ready to get into bed.
Well, she said, well, maybe I'll give him a good night kiss. She's like, just like that. And then after good night kiss, she was like, are you ready for bed? He was like, oh, you're keen, aren't you? I was like, okay, Michelle.
Now we're moving on to episode 7.
The Honeymoons.
And we're going to start off with Alex and Yvonne.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not even too sure if I want to call it a honeymoon for them.
Okay.
Because he was on his phone the whole time. Up until he lost it in that limo. Or what was it?
It was a Rolls Royce. Same thing.
Excuse me. It's not the same thing because she got the Rolls Royce because he likes to find things in life. She wanted to impress him.
Well, it's not the same thing, but the same thing is you lost it. And the reason why you lost it is because the same thing you said you didn't want for your wedding is exactly what you got. You wanted someone who wasn't socially on their phone, this and that, and that's exactly what you're doing. Yes, you are conducting business, but you're on your honeymoon. You should have someone in place who is maybe under you and your business, a different manager that can take care of things while you're away.
This further lets me see that this couple's not going to work out. But I thought it was funny that the Rolls Royce driver wanted to charge him. I would want to charge him too, because how do you lose a phone deep inside a car like that?
Well, charge you, yeah, because listen, it's a Rolls Royce. I'm not just gonna go messing up anything. You know, when you have a luxury car, so I've heard. Anything, the bumper, the seats, the this or that, you know how much it is to replace that? It's a lot of money. So, listen, I wouldn't want to be on the hook for that either. You lost it, you're digging around for it, you pay for it. But the thing with them too is it wasn't just the Rolls Royce. It just, the connection was more like a friendship kind of thing. Like they were there, but they weren't there. They're together, but they're not together. And you can see this. I mean, the vibe, I don't know. Something's off. And I'm not sure if it's with him, with her, or them both.
I was really surprised that Alex was mostly calm through the whole episode and scene.
Moving on to Jonathan. Moving on to Connie and Jonathan. Now, I thought the experts got this right last week. I felt that connection. They're the quirky couple. They seem like they're on the same path moving forward. But
You still feel like that?
I do. And hopefully it lasts. The thing that's thrown off, though, is that Jonathan seems to be a little bit more standoffish, intimidated, reserved. That's the word. More reserved than Connie. Because I thought Connie was way more reserved and that Jonathan would be pulling her out of her shell. But it's the opposite.
It's so weird to me because we didn't see this at the wedding.
Right.
At the vows or at the reception. So I'm wondering, like, where did this all come from? Was it her mom that made him throw him off? Was it Connie behind the scenes that made him throw him off? Something had to throw him off because you just don't get on the show, say all these immaculate things. Well, actually you can. And then trying to revert back in. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what else is going to happen.
Well, I can say that they did have a pretty decent time. They connected a little bit and they did go in for the kiss.
Because Connie wanted to.
At the end of the night. So maybe the next few days of the honeymoon, they can connect more. Michelle and Steve. We see them, and the thing is, I thought that perhaps things would keep rolling from the end of the marriage scene. You know, with them being kissing. Well, her wanted to kiss, and her wanted to be lovey-dovey. But That's not what we get on the honeymoon. They have a so-so connection. And again, the connection comes across to me as if, one, Michelle is trying too hard. And two, she has it in the back of his mind, he used to cheat too.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened.
And I think that's what's throwing it off. Now, Michelle is an adventurer. She's like adventure.
Adrenaline junkie.
That's it, adrenaline junkie. Versus Steve, more laid back. So they decide they're going to go skiing. During the ski trip, Steve is complaining he doesn't want to do it. Now, while they're riding up the ski slope, what do you call the thing that rides you up there?
The rail?
I don't know. We haven't skied, so we don't know. While you're riding the little train or tram that rides you up to get on the slope, she's like, why don't we go bungee? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Steve was like, no, I don't want to do that.
No. I mean, I kind of agree with Steve. I don't want to go bungee jumping either.
Well, I guess. While they're skiing, you know what? Michelle isn't having a good time. Now she's complaining. She's this. She's that. She falls. She's falling. She hurts her knees. Back.
Well, it's a slippery slope. If someone ends up complaining on your honeymoon when you're supposed to be bonding, that already throws the other person off. Plus, she's already having that stuff in the back of her head of him cheating.
But she should...
You're going to complain too.
But she suggested skiing. So... why are you complaining of something you suggested?
I feel like because he was complaining, she ended up complaining, and then they just ended up complaining together.
Well, I guess. She hurt her knee, so I guess that threw her off or whatever her issue was. Later in the evening at the hotel, they're still going back and forth. They're arguing. Even some curse words are being thrown around. And, you know, it's like, you don't have to talk to me this way. Vice versa. This, that, I don't need this. I don't need it, da-da-da.
I don't know how, or I don't even know why couples start off this way.
Mm-hmm.
During the honeymoon, this is the time that you're supposed to be having a good time on a free vacation. And some of these couples always end up arguing or in a fight. And I don't understand how this happens with a stranger.
You just said it. They're a stranger. Someone you don't know, and you might not click the way you think you're going to click. So
I don't know. I would just think if it's a stranger, you guys would be trying to do the best to show your best self.
In the evening, after all the arguing, after all the name calling, after all the
hoopla.
Perfect. After all the hoopla, Michelle apologizes for her attitude and how she's been acting. So
they both should apologize.
Again, you know, hopefully they can have a nice couple days too. So I don't know about this couple. I just think that they didn't start on the right foot, and I think it really stems with Michelle, and we'll see how long it lasts.
I don't think it just stands with Michelle. I think it stands with him as well. So
Stacy and Michael, they seem like they're having a good time, or shall I say, seem like Stacy's having a better time. Now she knows that, Michael's a business owner. He probably could take care of the finer things in life.
It does seem like she's having a better time, but it's like a role reversal because now he is irritated and rolling his eyes. I was like, what happened?
Well, during dinner, Stacy says that she has lots of trauma and she's trying to put her walls down. She's trying to release, relate, and let go and let him in. And she's going to work on that. He understands and appears to have a listening ear. So now we jump to the morning. What has happened? Stacy's sitting up in bed, hair pulled back. Michael's laying across the bed. Turns out Michael had a good time with people he met maybe in the lobby in the hotel during the honeymoon, got drunk, stayed all night, came in at 3, 4, or 5 in the morning at an inappropriate time without your wife, and is mad at her. Because she want to know where you've been, what you've been doing, so on and so forth. I mean, it gets so loud, so heated. What's the word you use? The hoopla began. And I can't even blame Stacy for this. Like, how are you blaming me because you got drunk and you act like you don't remember doing what you're doing? That is an issue.
I don't know. I can't even make an excuse because there's no excuse for it. I just want to know why he did that without inviting his wife. Like, did y'all not just get married a whole 24 to 48 hours ago? How do you forget that? Well, I guess some people might forget that.
Maybe.
No.
Well, it took a little while for Michael to apologize, but he finally does. Stace accepted. Later in the afternoon, they decide to have a clean slate. They go jet skiing. While they're jet skiing, it depends on whose turn it is. When he's in the water, Stacy's like, oh, I help a shark get you. He's like, oh, a baby shark? No, a big one. Like to come get you.
She was not joking.
And vice versa. So, hey, they try to have a good time. Moving back to evening time, they're back having a dinner, a meal, conversation. And again, she's talking about letting her walls down. And this time, she mentions the trauma that she's been through. Stacy lost 2 family members, her father and her brother. And the thing with her brother's death, she was due to give birth to her first son the same day she found out he passed on. That is traumatic for anybody.
Do you think this made him come around more?
I think it opened up his heart and his ears to listen more, but we'll see if it really changes and turn him around, because I don't know. I feel like he's used to doing what he wants when he wants versus having Stacy in his life who he knows, because he even mentioned this too at the wedding, that she has her walls built up so high that if he wants to break through to her heart, he's going to have to make some changes. And I don't know if he knows where those changes are.
I don't think he knows where those changes are or if he even wants to change at this point of time. All right. So that was the end of this week's episode of Married at First Sight Australia. And I'm really happy that we got through all 10 couples. Yes. I thought there was 12, but there ended up to be 10. And I'm really happy to see them. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen later on when we move past the honeymoons and we actually get to the real life.
I agree. I'm so happy we got through the weddings and receptions in one big envelope, but I'm ready to see how their lives are going to mix and match, intermingle, and are we going to see all 10 couples come together? That's what I want to know. Or are we going to see them separate?
Well, let us know what you thought about this week's episode of 6 and 7 and what you think is going to happen for 8 and 9 in the next week's episode. So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like this video and you share this video. Also, subscribe to our channel and become one of our wonderful subscribers.
Yes, thank you all for watching. And as always, live simply. Be grateful.